Hey YouTubers, it's Charlie. So this is going to be a reaction video all about Constantine coming on Arrow, Flash of Two Worlds, the first image of Jay Garrick, all kinds of awesome stuff from the DC TV universe this week. The biggest news in my mind is actually Constantine coming on Arrow. They had previously not announced that. Stephen Amell ran this big Twitter campaign early in the year when they announced that Constantine was officially canceled just to try and drum up some interest from the network. Now he doesn't have a producer credit on Arrow, but he's the lead star, so his opinion does hold weight with the producers. And they're all really huge fans of the Constantine people, so they were happy to try and use the character. But the wrench in the plan is that NBC and the CW have to come to an agreement to share the character because technically NBC still owns the property. It looks like whatever they did behind the scenes, it all worked out. Because now Constantine, once he comes on the show, he'll be canon to Arrow and the Flash, that whole universe, meaning he can keep coming back. And that's really the important thing in my mind, the fact that they can use that character in the future if they want. They've already talked about how Arrow is getting heavily into mysticism this year. Constantine is just full-blown magic. They did explain what his arc is going to be. So what's going to happen is he'll have a one-off appearance. He's going to help them resurrect a character that they could not normally resurrect with the Lazarus Pit. The way Mark Guggenheim explained it is that they're going to use him to resurrect Sarah Lance because she's been dead for more than a year. And the Lazarus Pit really only works on people that have been dead for less than that. Thea's a really good example. Like if you're a freshly dead person, within a couple days, you're totally good. The hot tub Lazarus Pit will make you all better. But by the time they do the episode, Sarah Lance will have been dead for about a year. So that's a long time. She's been decomposing this whole time, presumably. Picture like one of the walkers from Walking Dead getting dumped in the Lazarus Pit. I have no idea what they're going to make her look like on the show. I will be a little upset if they make her look just as pretty as she was when she died. Because there's suspension of disbelief and then there's just ridiculousness. If she's been in the ground for a year, she's gonna look a little gross. They didn't say which episode that's gonna be. My guess is that it's gonna be like in the latter half of the first part of the season, meaning it'll be closer to episodes 7, 8, 9. We do know that the big like Flash versus Arrow crossover this year is gonna be the Vandal Savage episode, the episode that brings him into the universe, the first time we see him. That's episode 8 of both shows, so the Constantine episode could either come like right before that or it could come right after. I know a lot of you are confused about the teaser that they released because there is like a trailer. They released a bunch of footage, but really that was a promo intended to sell the show to networks. Like they wanted to sell advertisers so they'd buy space and they could make money on the show. Don't be surprised if all that footage gets reshot or recut for the actual episodes. Hawkgirl is a really good example. Like they had a limited amount of time to do her, so like whenever she's in that teaser trailer, she's really blurry, really dark, and really far in the background. You can't really make her out. But when she comes on the Flash and Arrow, we'll probably get to see her full-on CG with the wings and the helmet, everything. And Hawkman too, for that matter, but they haven't really explained the Hawkgirl-Hawkman dynamic yet. Speaking of which, next big thing, onto the Flash. They only really teased the first look at Jay Garrick, and it's really like a small teaser, but this is what his costume is going to look like. They mocked up this comic book cover just in honor of the first time that Barry Allen met Jay Garrick in Flash of Two Worlds. I think I already talked about that when I did my multiverse video, so I'll add a link in the description. I explained the story behind the Flash of Two Worlds, how Barry meets Jay Garrick for the first time. Make no mistake though, they are doing the multiverse on the Flash. I mean, they're just kind of dipping their toe in the water. If you've been reading the comics, it's not going to be like full-blown convergence type stuff. It's not going to get that crazy. But my initial reaction is that it looks great. It actually looks closer to this version of Jay Garrick. He's had a couple modifications to his costume throughout the comics, not as many as the Flash proper, like for all the different characters to wear the mantle. But still, it's just a little more contemporary. It's more like a jacket that he wears with a pair of pants, as opposed to the old school t-shirt look. And because he's going to be a contemporary of Barry Allen, just from Earth 2, I'm expecting it to be made of tech fabric, just like Barry's is made of tech fabric too. The way the costumes are made in the comics is a little bit different from the TV show. It's a little more practical the way the TV show explains it. Barry's costume is made from like a super advanced firefighter costume that they weren't using. So I'm assuming that Jay Garrick's is going to be something close to that too. What I'm really hoping for is that he gets the white emblem, like the new costume, after he meets Jay Garrick. Like as a result of visiting Earth 2, he has to make a new costume and they magic up the white logo. And for those wondering, this girl down here, this is Patty Spivot. It's kind of hard to tell, but she's wearing a police uniform top and pants. I know a lot of people thought that it might be Felicity because she wears like those power suits. But if you look at this picture of the actress, Chantel Van Santen behind the scenes, she's already wearing the plainclothes outfit. So that's the outfit she's wearing in this Flash edit. Don't think that just because she's fallen and they're helping her, that she's going to be a damsel in distress. This was only done this way so that it would fit within the context of the cover art from the classic Flash of Two Worlds comic. I saw a lot of people complaining. They're like, oh, is she going to be another damsel in distress? No, this is just going to be for fun. She's going to be a badass police officer in the context of the series, so don't worry about that. This is actually a full-res picture of the Season 2 costume, but the way the light plays on it, it doesn't look exactly like it's going to look on the TV show. Really, those are the big two announcements. Vixen is coming in 2 weeks, but they didn't spend a whole lot of time promoting that. The CW Seed service, it's like their version of HBO now. That's where those episodes are going to drop. I'll be doing weekly videos for it, so just keep your eyes peeled for that. I'll do videos just like I do for The Flash and Arrow, so I'll try to make sure that everybody understands Vixen when we start out, just because she's not as big a comic book character as The Flash or Green Arrow. Let me know that. What do you think about Constantine coming on Arrow, and what do you think about Jay Garrick's suit? Just to clarify, a lot of people were wondering if Constantine had been canceled. I guess, maybe they didn't hear me talking about it earlier this year. Yes, it was flat out canceled. It hasn't gone to another network. So the show is dead, but the character now will be part of Arrow and The Flash. And just because he's coming on Arrow, he's only coming on Arrow, that doesn't mean he will not also go on Flash at some point. It's just that The Flash is more of a science-based show, so the more like the science-based characters go to The Flash, and Arrow is going into mysticism, so more of the magic-based characters will be going to Arrow. So congratulations to Matt Ryan, Stephen Amell has you now. What about trailers though? I know a lot of you are asking about official Flash and Arrow trailers for the next season. What I'm thinking is that they might use those to promote the Vixen premiere. So because they didn't drop them this week, they might end up dropping them in a couple weeks whenever Vixen premieres. And that'll be in 2 weeks on Tuesday, so it's August 25th. But remember, it's digital, it's not on TV. It's cwc.com. You might have to use like a VPN workaround if you're in another country. I don't know if it's accessible outside of the US. Everybody get hyped though. Vixen will run for 6 weeks, and at the end of that, Arrow and The Flash will premiere. Like that's kind of how it's intended to go. It'll be like 6 weeks, and then bam, premiere. So just giant high fives to everyone all around. This is really like the best possible outcome. The Arrow and Flash are just totally nailing it so far, just in the stuff that I've been seeing so far. So just in case you haven't seen it, you can click here for my Flash multiverse video that'll kind of explain how the multiverse works in DC Comics and Jay Garrick's origin story. And you can click here to watch the Vixen trailer and learn all about her. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. Let's high five. I'll see you guys tomorrow.